Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Sunday Snakepit. We're here to get started today. Uh, if you're unfamiliar with this is going to be a live stream that we do here for the next 30, 45 minutes. We talk about nothing but the Carolina Cobras. I'm Jose Bahina. This is my sister, Gina Bahina. Like I said, we've been doing this for the Cobras for a couple weeks now. Like I said, we missed last week, unfortunately, so we got to do a quick little game recap and summary on that week. But I think we're excited to get on to this past week, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, first thing, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, all the dads. Dads have stepped in, things like that. But also, we're going to be having the sit down with the Cobra today. You got Zach Brown, and then we'll be doing a live giveaway later on in the show.
So we stick around. It'll be a fun, interesting little show here. All right. So, first of all, like I said, we got to give that quick recap where we missed last week due to some technical issues, but dropped a game to Columbus after bouncing back against the Empire. That put the team at 6-2, and it may have been the worst showing of the season so far. I think that's fair to say.
That's a fair statement, yeah.
28-55 in Columbus. But the good news is that we kind of get to gloss over that a little bit because we've moved on, and the Cobras have beaten the Empire once more. And this is the third win on the season for them against the Albany Empire, so they have won all three games, effectively swept them for the season. So we've brought that up a couple of times. It's kind of fun to, like I said, it doesn't really count for anything, but it counts, I think it counts for pride more than anything. So
for sure, definitely.
All right, so the Carolina Cobras win last night in an absolute amazing fashion. So you can see the game. We got the game going on here in the corner of your screen, and honestly, like I said, that was the closest you could get. Again, I like close games. I do.
I get that, yeah, because like I said, for me, when you get a close game, it's like you don't really know I don't like it that close. Don't be wrong, I don't like it that close. But you don't really know which way it's gonna go, and you're like, okay, well then, because one pass can make the difference.
Yeah, it's a make or break type game, and honestly, even this is the way that this game came down to last night. Carolina wins at 59-60, 59-56, and Jonathan Bain, he gets 301 yards with 6 touchdowns there. Touchdowns going all over the place. We had Michael Robinson getting a touchdown. We had DJ Myers. He scooped up. No, he didn't get any. He didn't get a touchdown. He got an interception on defense. Like I said, playing a little Iron Man. Love DJ Myers. Zach Brown getting a touchdown though. Adam Smith, Trevante Long, everywhere. Like I said, just spreading the ball around.
Yeah, and honestly, going back to that interception that DJ had, that was wild. Like it was, because I was trying to record at that time and just going, and I was following the ball at first, and then I was like, wait, where did it go? And I was like, oh my god, there it,
he leapt up to make that catch,
snatched it. And sorry if you guys saw me kind of moving off there. Jose's cat Knox was trying to break in. He can totally do that. Yeah, so that was just wild. So many great plays were made last night. So many great defensive plays. A lot of times the defense they get a little overlooked. Sometimes I feel like
they don't get the love as the
exactly.
offense, because in arena football, you offense is the key. That's what everybody comes to see, is the touchdowns, the passes, the breakaway plays. So yeah, I think you're right. The interceptions, and like I said, sometimes that gets glossed over a little bit for sure. But again, like I said, big night defensively for Carolina. Even Zach Brown with 6 tackles from the fullback position. Adam Smith getting in there and involved in a couple of plays, but again, 2 interceptions. Kendrick Ings also got 1, so like I said, that's 2 for the night. And again, you have to really hand a lot of love to TC Stevens, because again, he missed the first field goal, missed the second attempt, and you got to think third time's a charm, and it is. Again, with less than half a second left in the game, nails the field goal, and that gives Carolina the win. And again, it's hard. I understand, like I said, kicking is not easy. Again, but when you look at, when you have a game that ends where it's you're up 3 points, you got to think you left 6 points on the table there, basically. Like I said, this game wouldn't have been nearly as close if you had made those first 2 field goals, but at the same time, then you don't get that hero moment to try to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat, basically. So it's kind of it's
a double-edged sword, yeah.
It is. And matter of fact, actually, we got a little clip here last night. We spoke to head coach Josh Rosignolo last night after the game. So I just want to play this little clip for you guys here of him talking about TC and the decision to go out there and try the field goal, in that kind of case. So here's a little clip of Josh last night here. And again, what was the thought process to send out the field goal unit? Did you have any hesitation knowing that he had missed those two previously?
Absolutely not. We knew that if we were going to get in a fourth down situation, we got one of the best kickers in the league, special teams player of the year last year. I think he's won 2 or 3 special teams players of the week this year. So we got we got all the confidence in the world in TC, and it was a no-brainer.
All right, so
my bad.
Anyways, yeah, like I said, so you can watch that full interview we did with head coach Josh Rosignolo. It's on the YouTube channel. Also, we got the halftime interview with Micah Robinson, like I said, after he got his touchdown. He was pretty excited about it, and that's always one of those moments that feels good when you see a guy that doesn't normally get, like you said, the love of the touchdowns, and so it's kind of nice to get to see him. I mean, he was ear to ear. It was funny because we went to even go to do the interview, and I was like, all right, you went and let him know, and then he actually beat us back to the camera.
Okay.
He was up there waiting on us. He was so excited about it.
I love those kind of moments.
Yeah, it's perfect. Again, other games going around. So that does leave Carolina right now 7-2 on the season, still holding strong to that number 1 position. Again, like I said, there may be a playoff clinching scenario next week. It would be one of those situations, I think, where Carolina needs help. I think if the math works out right, which it could be a little shaky, but I think if Carolina wins next week and Orlando wins, I think those are the 2 qualifiers to clinch Carolina a playoff spot this early. But again, when you're looking to need help already, I think it's better off just to kind of get it on your own in another week or 2 if you got to. But I think at this point, it feels safe to say Carolina would be a playoff team. They definitely feel like it. I mean, like I said, all the energy's there for it, but at the same time, I rather would say, it's one of those, don't count your chickens before they hatch. Yeah, that's the saying. Yeah, I'm terrible with catchphrases or whatever. So, all right. But again, around the National Arena League last night, or rather over the weekend, because nobody played but Carolina yesterday. So you had the Jacksonville Sharks. They fell to the Columbus Lions by a 10-point deficit in Columbus. And then the Gunslingers, San Antonio, who Carolina has on the schedule next, they are on a 2-game winning streak. After losing 5 straight, they've won 2. They beat the Predators 55-53. So, like I said, in Orlando. So that's good for them. And we talked about it, too, that we kind of thought...
We touched on that, I think.
Yeah, that San Antonio was kind of on the cusp of winning finally, and they just hadn't broke through at that point. And now, ever since then, they've won 2 straight. So that's good for them. And again, I know it doesn't really, mean a lot, but it does. I think it's better for the league to not have a team that's winless in any respect. I think it's better for.
Well, I think everybody deserves a W at some point.
No, you don't
deserve a W. Yeah. Excuse me, but
we're not handing them out.
No, we're not handing. It's not.
I know. I'm
not like participation.
I'm giving you a hard time.
But it's good to see everybody get that W when they've worked for it.
Yeah, and I think it means that the league itself as a whole is being a little healthier. I think at that point. Again, like I said, when you have everybody in the win column, at least more than 1 right now. Like I said, there's nobody that has none or 1 win. So like I said, I think it shows the health and kind of cultivation of the league as a whole. So I think that's important beyond belief. And again, guys, if you want to chime in on anything, drop a comment down below. Like I said, let us know what your thoughts are, especially, like I said, as we look forward to down the season. And again, as we mentioned, it's early to be talking about playoffs, but again, that's coming up. It's going to be here before you know it. Again, like I said, just a great time last night. Again, those games over the weekend in Jacksonville, in Columbus and Orlando, both of those were good games over the weekend too. So, we can't take those for granted either. Again, like I said, coming up, we're going to need help to get into the playoffs as early as possible, but it's a real possibility. So I think right now we're looking good to go ahead and bring up the interview with Zach Brown.
That was great. Yeah.
Yeah. And just like I said, just it's so fun to talk to these players. Especially like so we talk to usually like I said we've kind of been just kind of getting together with the players whenever we can. So last night it was kind of pregame, and Zach was so hype and ready to play. He's such a fun guy.
He has so much energy.
He does really. So all right, so we're gonna go ahead and send you to that interview here with Zach. So you guys will sit back and enjoy for a few minutes, and we'll be right back with you here.
Welcome, Carolina Cobra fans. We're here with Zach Brown. You've been requested by a couple of people already. Last week we talked to Adam Smith. He said, get ZB on here because he know you'd be fun. So first question for you. Tell me, who is Zach Brown?
Zach Brown is a great person that love to have fun and will give you his last, and I always look out for the net person, you know what I'm saying? Before I look out for myself, I make the person beside me make sure they happy.
Okay. So I know you're from Tipton, Georgia?
Yes, sir.
All right. So like I said, you're about 7.5 hours from Greensboro, about 135 miles from Jacksonville, where you used to play at. You got a big family down there?
Well, I ain't got no family in Jacksonville, but when I stay in Tipton, like I said, I'm only 2 hours away. So my family back at home, they travel down on the weekend, come watch me play. So it'd be like about 15 people.
So you can kind of get a good crowd going on that away trip to Jacksonville, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So, like I said, going back to college. So I know you played at the A-Bag down there. Like I said, you went there, and then you played at Ferrum College.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, Ferrum's not that far from here, really.
Yes,
so
sir.
tell me a little bit about that experience there.
Oh, well, the school, A-Bag, it's a community college, and you know what I'm saying, I went there when I took summer school for Ferrum College.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to Ferrum College back in 2007, and I played 07, 08, and going to my 09 year, that's when stuff kind of went rocky, and I went to A-Bag then.
Gotcha. Like I said, life happens. That's the big thing about it. But you played as a defensive back at Ferrum.
Yes, sir.
So you got a little bit of that defensive experience, which we're going to touch on that in a little bit. Like I said, especially I think how it's kind of come to fruition and helped you out here. But like I said, so you ended up playing not professionally until 2017 with the Firebirds?
Yes.
So how was that? How was that getting into? Like I said, it was a little bit of a gap. So what's that experience like?
Well, the Georgia Firebird, we started as a traveling team in 2015. And the first team I played against was the Bloomington Edge, and that was my first arena game.
I remember that team.
Yeah, so that was my first game, and then the second game I played against was the St. Louis Attack. That was my second time playing my second arena game, but I started on a team that we used to travel, and then in 2016 we was in the AIF with a couple teams up here in North Carolina, and then that went in 2017 when the Georgia Firebirds joined the NAL, and I've been in ever since then.
All right, I got you. And after that, you went to AAL. You won a championship down there with the Atlanta Havoc. You got to play in the 2018 All-Star Game as a linebacker. Again, you're a defensive guy here.
Yes.
2019, you played with the Sharks. Again, like I said, you got that connection there. And then we know 2020 was COVID year. 2021, you actually suffered essentially season-ending injury actually here in Greensboro, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Like, so when you were signed with the Sharks then, so
yeah.
What's it been like to be able to come back from that type of injury and produce like you are?
So last year was my first major injury my whole life. Like I never missed a game, never got hurt like that. So with me trying to get over that, it was kind of hard because going to practice, I'm not out there. My team not up to the point like they supposed to be because I'm not out there pushing them. But overcome that adversity, I felt like when I signed with Carolina, and this is why I ended my season, I felt like it was best to sign with Carolina to start my season why I got hurt at.
Pick it right back up.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, you guys kind of have, right now, like I said, you're 6-2. You won 5 straight. You had the home loss to Jacksonville. That was 2 points. You bounced back against the Empire, and then last week kind of fell off a little bit against the Lions. So far to the point of this season, how do you feel like you said that? What's the team doing right and what's the team doing wrong?
The thing we doing right is that we come to work every week to get better. You know what I'm saying? Everybody find their weakness or their mistake from the last game and try to correct the mistake so they won't carry over to the next game. But I think the thing we need to work on, that the weakness is communication better with each other on the field. You know what I'm saying? Once we get that down, we're a bomb threat.
Now I know you worked with Coach Rez back in Atlanta with the Havoc, so you think that experience kind of helps you out? And I mean, what can you say about Coach Rez?
Oh man, Coach Rez is a great dude, man. And ever since 2018, after we played, he's been trying to recruit me to come play with Carolina.
I know he said he's wanted you back before.
Yeah, so Coach Rez is a great dude. He's gonna bend his back for the team. He'll give you his lad also. You know what I'm saying? I like playing for Coach Rez though.
Okay. And back to your college, I had a picture I wanted to ask about. So who are these guys right here?
Okay, this guy right here is called Cleve Adams. That's my defensive coordinator when I played at Farrell. That's Steph Curry uncle.
Really?
Yeah, that's Steph Curry uncle. This right here named Pete Shaw. He gonna be at the game tonight. He was my college recruit that came to Georgia to get me to come to Farrell. And he stayed in Greensboro, so he been at every home game. And this man here was our equipment manager when I was at Farrell College.
So you got to have a couple of your older kind of comrades come out and check you out here in Greensboro.
Yep.
That's always good to be able to play, in front of people that normally wouldn't get that chance past your college career, So yeah, I saw that picture. I said I kind of asked about that to see who these fellows are. So for Carolina, so far you got 7 touchdowns, 102 yards. 2 of those are receiving touchdowns. Defensively, 16 tackles, 3 forced fumbles, and a touchdown on defense. Mm-hmm. So you play both sides of the ball really well. I mean, that kind of goes without saying, but you got the award of Iron Man of the Week, Week 3 and Week 7. You're the only NAL player so far to repeat as Iron Man of the Week. Obviously, you kind of excel at it. And like I said, you have the history playing college defense. How do you feel about these Ironman rules? Like, do you think that adjusting to it from when you played in Jacksonville? I mean, obviously you've not had a lot of trouble with it, but
yeah, I think with me, the Ironman rule, it probably hurt some of the good receivers like Devin Wilson and the Prince and Jermon Forson, like them type of guys right there, because they're more of an explosive receiver player more than a defensive player. See, with me playing Ironman, I'm used to playing running back, mat linebacker, because I grew up playing offense and defense my whole life. So it wasn't no problem for me when they say in the Iron Man. I say, y'all just make it easy for me.
Like I said, obviously it's working for you. So whatever you're doing, don't change it. Mm-hmm. We got a couple of fun questions here for you. So when it comes down to your teammates, who's the funniest one?
I'm gonna say Kendra Eames and James Sumner.
Okay, those are 2 jokers. I get it. Yeah. Who's the most serious though?
Jonathan Bain. Jonathan Bain.
Bain?
Bain?
Okay.
Yeah.
See, Bain said DJ Meyer. He said that was his answer.
Yeah, DJ too, but I think just
so it's
Bain.
You got to have that mentality when you're the quarterback, though.
Yeah.
He's got to kind of corral everybody. I see that. All right, so who do you want to see do this interview next?
I would like to see
we already did Adam Smith, Jonathan Bain.
I would like to see Derek Ziegler.
Oh, we might have to get him on here. Yeah.
Derek Ziegler, yeah.
He's a quiet guy, I think.
Quiet. He ain't quiet.
He gives that tone off, so maybe it's something I'm missing there.
Yeah,
so we'll have to. All right.
He's a great dude.
Get him on here. All right. So next question: if we go down to Tifton, what's the spot you got to take everybody to?
We go down to Tifton. We got the wing plays that we call. What's the wing play? They changed the name. But I know it's a wing play right off of 82, and they got like different flavors. I like to eat wings. So if you come down to me, I'm gonna take you to wing place. I think that's probably like my time ain't that big, so everybody got the same restaurants, Zaxby's, Applebee's, but the little wing shop I'm talking about.
That's what you want.
Wings.
You want to know what the locals go to.
Yeah,
so all right,
wings.
you get a bonus question: wings or flats?
Both.
You ain't got no type.
Ain't got no type. You're right. Yep.
All right. Well, that's I feel you on that. All right, so now let's go do like a little bit of a lightning round here. So, scary movie or funny movie?
Scary.
DC or Marvel?
DC.
Online shopping or shopping in store?
Shopping in store.
Best wing sauce? I forgot that was on there.
Barbecue.
Barbecue? Just straight barbecue?
Straight barbecue.
You like hot wings?
I don't like spicy wings. Really.
No.
I eat a mild.
All right. Nothing wrong with that. All right, what's worse, doing dishes or laundry? Dishes, okay. Waffles or pancakes?
Pancakes.
I would rather go to a concert or a sporting event.
Sporting event.
What's your team?
Football, Baltimore Ravens.
Ravens?
Yeah, my favorite.
I figured you'd be a Falcons guy, just being the. I don't blame you though. All right, coffee or tea?
Tea.
Would you rather drive or be the passenger?
Sit back and be the passenger.
The first one that said passenger. Toilet paper, you do it over or under?
Ooh.
Got it.
Under.
Okay, all right.
I think it come under.
What's your favorite movie?
My favorite movie, I like Taken and Taken 2. I love
classics.
That movie. Yeah, like just because the mindset he had to go back and get his daughter, a lot of folks can't do that.
Yeah, I know.
And I know it's a movie,
but those were like the ones that kind of started that little genre of the They're like senior badass.
Yeah, yeah, I like that.
That's true. That's true. All right, so what's the one thing that people need to know about Zach Brown, but they probably don't?
That in the off season, I coach. I'm like a personal trainer, and I coach a Part 1, 11, 12-year-old age group back at home.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. How'd they do?
Oh, last year we finished number 2 in our region. We lost the region championship, but we ended the season ranked number 17 in the nation.
All right. Well, there you go. So that's Zach Brown. Like I said, we're gonna get in here. You're gonna have a game here just shortly, so we'll see how it goes. So best of luck.
All right, thank you.
All right, so that was Zach Brown, and I like I said, enjoy him, especially right after interview. He started going on about the whole wings thing.
Yeah, we were talking about wings. I was like, we just became best friends because I don't do spicy. I don't do hot.
No, see, I love hot wings. So
not my game. But yeah, no, and it was great then because all that energy he took that out there onto the field and just rocked out great getting to have those one-on-ones and kind of getting to know them more than just hey. What was this play about or how was that play? You really get to kind of know the person.
Yeah, and that's something I appreciate about the NAL as a whole is I feel like that's something, again, the interaction, the level of...
The players are so accessible.
Yeah, like I said, yeah, the accessibility. Like, that's something that just can't be taken for granted, really. And, again, let us know, who do you want to see do the Sunday sit-down with us next week? Like I said, we've got a couple of people... lined up, I guess. So, like I said, now we're getting so many suggestions.
Yeah.
It's fun, and like I said, I wish we could do more of them. Just so, like I said, we could. I feel like it would stretch. If we had our way, we'd probably just do an hour straight of that. But
I would totally be good to do bonus footage of just that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you can either let us know either here in the comments, or you can email us at jb2mediapro@gmail. That email is listed into the show notes. And then while you're there, you're going to find all of our, the Carolina Cobras links for socials. So Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. So if you haven't already done that, go ahead and go follow those on whatever your favorite platform is, and stay in the know on everything Carolina Cobras.
More importantly, the easiest way is just come to the home games at the Greensboro Coliseum. That's the easiest way.
The winner.
Because honestly, as much fun as it is watching this replay and seeing everything that watching the games from YouTube, you just can't beat an in-person experience.
There is nothing like it.
That's just a fact.
Nothing like it. There's so much energy in there, and the Coliseum is so big.
It's such
a large venue that it just all of that noise.
When they get loud in there, it surprisingly sounds like a lot more people than it is. Like so, just it's almost what's the word it's like an echo chamber type thing. I enjoy that. Like I said, I love the Greensboro Coliseum in general. It's a fun venue to be at for any event, really.
Cobra Nation is definitely loud ones. Love them.
All right, so again, we're gonna move on to a couple of questions, and again, like I said, we'd like to see you guys talk in the comments about, like I said, not only who you want to see do the sit down with us, but also
give us your thoughts on anything we're talking about.
Yep. So,
like this next thing, how do you think the Ironman rule is affecting the NAL?
Okay, so
is good? Is it bad?
Yeah. I mean, again, you get those. Okay, so if you're, I think that's the problem. Like just gonna kind of jump onto that, but I think it's confusing. That's the number one thing. I think
that's a good point because you know me, I'm easily confused by anything. So, changes like that, I have to look to Jose and be like, can you explain this to me? I don't really know.
It's hard. I think what makes it that much harder is that we had 3 seasons of Carolina Cobra football prior to the introduction of the Ironman rules. And again, the Ironman rules go back in arena football, to the 90s. But I think with it coming into the NAL, 6-7 years in, is that something like that? Like I said, so again, you had 3 seasons. If you go back to when it was a new fan base for Carolina, at least, you had 3 seasons of not having Ironman rules to deal with, and then changing the format. I think it leaves a lot of people kind of confused and boggled, like I said, about the the specialists that you have that can go, the starters can go go out onto the field, they can come back off and go back on once per quarter, and then the non-starters that could go on, once, but then they have to stay out or they can't come back out. Like I said, it's a lot that's going on there, and I think again, management of the Iron Man situation is something that a lot of people just struggle with. Like I said, even in the moment of watching the game, I feel like unless you're like on the coaching staff or something where you see them try to keep up with this and arrange who's out, who's in, it's kind of difficult to grasp. But again, it's another dimension to the game. I feel like it's in the spirit of arena football. I talk about that a lot, but like I said, it's old school. Not really in love with it. And like I said, because I think again, it leads to games where better teams don't have the best shot at winning, so to speak, because like I said, when it comes down to those fourth quarter things, where it's a close game, you may not be able to make that comeback because, you've got, you've gotten players that you can't bring in that you need to bring in at that moment. Those are your guys who, you need on the field to make this happen.
I think that's why I don't understand it, because I'm like, what? Like,
it's easy to look at and say, oh, why wouldn't you send Kendrick Ings on this, on this play here, or why wouldn't you do this? It's you see the obvious answer, and a lot of people think, well, maybe this is bad coaching. It's not bad coaching because that's the obvious answer, but the coaching element of it is to take the obvious answer, filter it down into what you have available at your disposal at the moment, and regurgitate that into a winning play. So like I said, it's a complex thing.
And just thinking that my like mind blown, like what there
it's a lot to take.
Well, it was not in any questioning the coaching staff, because I have nothing but dead respect for them. Like not dead respect, but like just complete respect.
Yeah.
And so my what is not saying, why didn't you put this player in? It's like why isn't this person eligible? Because I just,
you forget that they may have had to come in like in the third quarter to make one of those game saving type plays, and then they're forced back out because there's a different need. And then like I said, then you're wondering why they're not coming back out, and it's like we've seen some players that they may get burnt in the first 5 minutes of a quarter, and then you're really you're kind of hogtied because you need them and you can't use them. So, but again, the thing I'm saying is that, again, about the whole, like I said, better team may not win situation, that's sort of almost a real big opinion because there's no tangible advantage. Both teams are playing by the same rules. So again, it doesn't hamper one team over the other, like I said, to give them a real true advantage, but it just feels that way sometimes. And again, that's more of an emotional call than anything. So, I mean, what do you think about this though?
I guess the way I see it though, also is that while I guess the best way to put this is like players that may not get as much time normally, if like you have those stars and those first strings that are always available and you're always putting them in, players that aren't getting to see as much play time are actually getting to get out there and get on the field to be able to go.
Right. So you're it's kind of like forcing you to spread the plays around and kind of forcing you to think to a different level, basically. Again, so like sort of.
Yeah, I guess it just it makes the coaches really just have to work then.
Right.
Kind of expose.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's the way to put it. Yeah.
More in-depth coaching, I guess. So it just gives them a chance to expose some of the more one-dimensional kind of plays, or players around the league that they can't make that adjustment, and then you kind of know where you're targeting. And but same can be said for the players. It results in a better overall product, even with you have those handcuffs on, I guess.
Right.
It just takes a different level of player to be able to absorb and do that. So kind of like, you see Zach, he goes out there and does just like we talked about.
Yeah, you may see players that don't have a history, or like you said, only have a history of being offensive players. Maybe you could be the best wide receiver in all of arena football, but again, if you're not able to pick up, the slack in place in DB, you're not going to be able to make it in this Iron Man format. So yeah, that makes sense. And again, like I said, it just makes it makes a better product for the NAL. I think. Again, I think it's extra little thinking you got to do in that. Like I said, it's a little more cerebral on good nights, and kind of, I think, makes things look worse when it goes wrong, if that makes sense, on bad nights. But again, a big point to make is that, not all the NAL fans have kind of gotten used to it yet. Again, like I said, that period for Carolina, 3 years without it, and then suddenly saying,
all of a sudden you change it up,
and we're used to seeing, back at the beginning of the Cobras, it was, hey, you could throw Laughing House out there on a route every play, every time, and you know what your play is.
Yeah, you know who you had, yeah.
Yeah, like I said, you knew what your squad was, and like I said, the offense was a little, like I said, it was effective. Don't get me wrong, no disrespect to any of those guys, but a little flatter, I think, at that point. You didn't have the peaks and valleys, and that kind of gives you a little more action, so to speak, for the fan engagement. Like I said, again, that's how you get games that are being played down to 2 points and 3 points in a night. So again, like I said, it's the first season of this type of play. Will it last? We don't even know. Like I said, that's the thing. It may be they may end up saying, hey, let's kind of can this idea and go back to just the free for all outdoor football style. Kind of what they're still playing like in the IFL and stuff. May switch back, and Iron Man just kind of is that little thing we talk about. You remember that year they used to do that?
That one time.
Yeah, exactly. So again,
we'll group that in with all the other things that have happened within the past few years. We'll just
yeah. You remember? Yeah, it's like, oh, you remember the year they tried Iron Man out? Like, complete side note, but you remember? So like, we work with the Carolina Thunderbirds too. Oh, the camera's off. Whoa. Lost a little feed here. There we go.
I don't know how long we've been in the dark.
sorry about that.
It's probably better for them, honestly, to not.
We were just got a little too into talking about the Iron Man there. But again, like I said, like I said, I forgot the point I was gonna make, but it was a little side note. Like I said, one year they tried to do a couple of games where they did the shootout. If you're unfamiliar with hockey, it usually goes first period, second period, third period, overtime, then shootout. So for 2 or 3 games, something like that, they switched it to where they did the shootout first, and then played this first, second, third, and overtime. So that way, if it came down to overtime, you already knew who won. So it kind of was a fun little idea, but it didn't last. Again, 2 or 3 games, and they scrapped that because they were like, this is not good. So again,
I think that kind of defeats the purpose of overtime then.
Yeah, well, then it was, then we just have to play keep away for, the next 5 minutes. And yeah, it had flaws. Again.
Didn't pan out well.
It's a footnote on the history of that hockey league.
But the thing of it is, you don't know unless you try something and then okay, well, it didn't work out.
Right.
Like me with bangs.
All right. Sorry, that caught me off guard a little bit there. Again, like I said, you can join in on the conversation about Iron Man.
Not about my bangs.
Not about the bangs, please. That's a totally different show. But again, another question I wanted to pose out here, and like I said, maybe this is, like I said, could get people a little more excited. But again, this isn't specific to. Again, we went a little more broad with the questions here about the topics. A little more NAL oriented, but like I said, it still pertains to the Cobras. So, thinking about in the future. And this is always fun to talk about because it gets talked about every year, all off season. Where should the NAL look to expand to next? This is just for fun. This is, like I said, our little judgment-free hot take zone. So, probably cold takes too, honestly.
Yeah, because for me, there's definitely a couple places around. You've got teams that have already been in places that aren't there anymore, and so do you try to revive an old team,
right? Or
do you start somewhere new entirely? Do you start a whole different a whole different setting?
Yeah, you can always. Yeah, that's always a thing to think about. Do you want to start from scratch again? And we've kind of seen that already.
Yeah, I was gonna say, literally, look at the Cobras.
Yeah, like I said, that's the thing. Well, even spiritual successor, I feel like, to the original Carolina Cobras, but even more directly, look at the Predators. They're kind of the prototype of that, or I guess archetype really is the right word. That's a $2 word. But they're the team you would think about in that respect because they came from the old AFL and they still had fans around that were excited to have the Predators back. Jacksonville, they kind of transitioned straight. They didn't really have that lull, but Orlando did, and like I said, and they came back, and like I said, to a previously dead market, I guess. And like I said, they came back and brought that team back, and like I said, and old fans are still there, and they want arena football. So like I said, that's great. Again, then there's you look around the league, every team kind of takes its own path. It feels like I said, Columbus, they've been around for I don't know 15, 16 years now. I think that feels right. They've been around for a long time. About that long. But again, they've been in several leagues and like I said, and have consistently been a great team and product, but they've also, like I said, have just kind of floated from league to league and then, before settling into the National Arena League now. So like I said, that's the other path you can take. But again, like I said, as far as expansion, you look at the old, there's okay, the first one that comes to my mind, and it's one of the, let's revive a market that has been already, is Nashville. The old Nashville Cats, that, and for a good reason. I'll give you my reasoning behind this because this is one I at least have some thought process put into. Nashville is it's a great city. They have a nice arena already there, and what is it, Bridgestone Arena, I guess that's where the Predators play. Like I said, that's there. You could use that. And honestly, one of the benefits would be is that it cuts a lot of travel down. I mean, they're 10 hours from Orlando, about 15 from Albany, which still is pretty far, but it's, for Carolina, it's 9 hours. Jacksonville's like 6. So like I said, it reduces all your level of travel. The 15 hours from Albany is kind of a killer, but again, you just do a home and away one time, you're done. That's how you schedule that out. Jacksonville already kind of has the soft travel. They've only got 5 hours to Columbus and an in-state rival already in Orlando. So like I said, they can just eat the extra travel. So that's what they'll have to do there. Do you have any markets you could think of that you'd like to see a team in?
Honestly, somewhere probably like Greenville or something, like South Carolina. I mean, I know we're the Carolina Cobras, but we do this a lot of times, and people are like, "Oh, we're just gonna lump them together."
Yeah,
No.
I get that.
North Carolina, yeah.
So Greenville, South Carolina. I don't know the name of the arena, but the Swamp Rabbits have a ECHL team there, and Jacksonville, they play in an ECHL level arena too. Like they share with the Icemen. So again, it's a good spot. It's not too far. I could undercut that bid a little bit and say and go. So I would think Charlotte would be a fun one especially for the Cobra fans, because again, we've seen, so there's a team that plays in Charlotte already in a different league. And I believe there were attempts to have them join the NAL at some point, and I don't know if it was a money issue, cold feet issue, whatever.
Didn't happen either way.
Not powers to be did not specify to me. But again, that would be the kind of the ultimate away game, and make the Carolina Cobra Road Warriors, really happy with this. Because the Cobras fans travel pretty well, to get a couple down to Jacksonville, a couple down to Columbus. Like I said, and an away game is a totally different atmosphere. I love it. But again, go to Charlotte, and you think about it, then you're going to have the fans, it's only an hour and a half down the road. Some fans already about drive an hour, 30, 45 minutes to get to the home games in Greensboro as it is. So like I said,
shout out to those that do.
I mean, yeah, like I said, again, you really got to think about how much, people are putting into that. And like I said, they're fans that would drive to Charlotte in a heartbeat. Oh, absolutely. That's nothing. And again, it's going to be,
we can carpool.
Yeah, the way gas is right now. Yeah, definitely. But again, it would be a true rival for the Cobras, because like I said, we don't really have a real rival. Like I said, Jacksonville has an in-state rival already. We should do that. And like I said, Charlotte right up the road, Bojangles Coliseum. We've actually seen arena football there before. So
we did, yeah. We've
like I said, so that's a funny story actually, because Coach Rez was coaching at the time in the AAL, and that was one of the games.
Coach Rez, yeah.
So
that was
fun.
Yeah, we met Coach Rez from the Cobras first, and he told us about it, and that's why we went
Yeah, we
to
knew that
watch
was
them
down
play.
there.
Yeah,
So
that was awesome. It was great. Nice. Look, there's our origin story.
yeah, you just bring it full circle there.
Great guy, great guy.
But another good thing about Charlotte was it would not really add to like the travel load for the other teams because basically you're already coming to Carolina, so you kind of already know what your travel is like.
It's just basically just 2 north and south points of the state.
Yeah, again, so like I said, if you've got Jacksonville, it would cut an hour off their travel. So like I said, it really wouldn't affect too many people the other way around. But again, like I said, that'd be great. We're gonna do let's see, what's another one real fast you got here? Let's see. Give us 1 second here. We're gonna be right back with you. Okay, sorry about the delay there. Had a little bit of an issue, but squared away now. Again, talking about the NAL, where they should expand to, like I said, our wish list basically is what it is.
I'm trying to think of anywhere. Maybe even like the Hampton Roads area, Virginia.
In Virginia, yeah, that would be a good area. Kind of again splitting travel up. Anywhere through that kind of strip because West Virginia, the Rough Riders at some point were supposed to join the NAL too, but anywhere kind of in that line, kind of splits it up geographically.
Let's just say anywhere on the Appalachian Trail.
Yeah, that helps. And I mean, again, from the Carolina Cobras fans standpoint, that's a very doable road trip. Again, like I said, right now the closest road trip is to Columbus, which is 7 hours, 7.5. Depending on traffic.
Made that, yeah.
Depending on how bad if you go through Atlanta. But again, yeah. So anywhere through there would be great. What's the Roanoke? Roanoke would be a great area.
Yes.
They have the Berglund Center, I think, still. Again, like I said, I'm basing most of these off my knowledge of minor league hockey places where they could share
for me,
arenas.
I'm just sitting here thinking about where would I think would be a great place. No, I'm sure these places have arenas. I'm sitting here going
Or there's something close by.
Exactly. Because I'm not thinking about who already has an established arena. I'm sitting here going all right, where would be a good locale? And then,
so you throw the dart at the map first, and then figure out the finer points.
Oh yes.
See, I'm looking at the other way around. I'm like, where's an arena I can play in? What's it close? Who uses it? So I know I have availability. Again, I think going back to episode 1, I think we should definitely put a team in the Corn Palace where Jonathan Bay.
And Jonathan Bay were talking about. You pick the market first, yeah.
Well, you can, yeah. Like I said, if you're going for a brand new market, yeah, I get that.
That's me. I'm all about starting fresh.
Okay, I understand that. Like I said, again, I basically have named a lot of stuff that has been before, and like I said, whether it be successful again or not, who knows? Maybe that's why they don't go back there. Maybe the powers to be know something I don't, and like I said, we're just brainstorming about it. Again, the other.
Is this a true sibling rivalry right now?
Yeah, basically, this is this new Civil War. Again, so like I said, one that I would love to see back, and again, this is the hot take, crazy, no judgment. Like I said, the New Orleans Voodoo. That'd be a great team to have back.
Okay, I'm with you on that one.
Again, just those old uniforms were great. Again, just it's a total wish list thing. But again, it would hear me out. NAL powers to be up the chain. It would cut travel for San Antonio. They wouldn't have such a terrible gap to cover. And again, like I said, kind of bridges you kind of Texas, Louisiana, Georgia, Florida. Like I said, kind of covers that southeast. It grows the footprint. Come on, I think it should work. If we could, find out the rights. I guess whoever still holds those, but I'm trying to find the. I'm gonna pull up the old uniforms because I love them so much. Yeah, like I love just like
It's very nice, very nice.
the logo is great. If you've never seen, like, if you're newer to arena football and you don't know, like it's like your witch doctor type theme.
As I say, it's very I know it's because I have a child. Obviously, it's just because the logo reminds me of the Voodoo Man from Princess and the Frog.
Yeah, is it the Disney or Pixar movie, whichever it is.
Disney, yeah.
So again, but yeah, like I said, just the purple, the red. Like I love that. Like I said, again, I think it would be a great place to look into. If that's a viable thing.
Jose's literally just pushing this so hard. He's like, wink, wink.
Yes, please. Yeah, that's like I said, that's the like top of the like wish list. I think again, Nashville would be another good place, but New Orleans is kind of that's the outlier of on the edge of reasonability, I believe.
I think that's where you live.
It is. But again, like I said, if you're tuning in with us here, like I said, we do this every Sunday. Right here on the Carolina Cobras YouTube page. Again, like I said, you also can find some of the game interviews from halftime and post game being uploaded here. Like I said, really trying to get this channel going a little more up to speed here. So, like I said, subscribe. Like I said, hit the notification bell so you know when we post content, when we go live. And like I said, there's all kinds of fun little stuff when you poke around on this channel. So, again, we're talking about NAL expansion right now, like I said, and where it could go. Again, give us your thoughts and feedback, Scott. Alex said, I think we nailed some pretty solid points right there. Like I said,
definitely. Yeah, you had some good points. I'm not gonna lie. You definitely had some good points. You definitely pushing, for the voodoo.
Like I said, yeah, that's the top. Like I said, Charlotte, Nashville. Like I said, we said the Hampton Roads, Roanoke area, anywhere through there.
Well, Hampton Roads and Roanoke would be totally. Hampton Roads would be like Norfolk and Virginia Beach and stuff like that.
Okay, all right. Well, sorry, I don't know my Virginia geography that well. So, again, anywhere through there, like I said, those are great places to put teams. Do you think the move that there should be a move made to go a little pushing west? How far? Because Nashville to me is about as far as I would think realistically right now you want to go. Zach Brown brought up the Bloomington Edge. I like that's
I mean, that's what, Illinois.
That's Bloomington, Illinois.
Okay.
There's Bloomington, Indiana, and Illinois. I think that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, because I've been to Bloomington.
Like traveling now,
Illinois.
like I go all these other places and stuff, and then I'm kind of like, wait, where? Like the Midwest in my brain, just for some reason I can't put it all together. I know it's there, but I can't put it together. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing it kind of expand up a little bit, just so they had more to.
Like the Ohio Valley area.
Yeah, just something. So we have more to go in. It's because I want more football.
More teams we have, the more football we have.
Exactly.
And that's it.
That's my goal. Is I just want more football. It would give us more home games, give us more of a chance to do all those fun things that we get to do. So I guess that's really my perspective on it. I'm as much as you want the voodoo for your own purposes, I want them to expand in other areas for my own.
Okay. We'll hit the Oregon Trail then.
Yes.
All right. So
we're not dying of dysentery today.
Looking ahead here, so we're gonna look at what's going on next week with the Carolina Cobras. Again, they're gonna be away next week,
making that very long trip to Texas.
Yeah,
really not that long.
It's still, but it's tough travel. Again, yeah, they got to make that type of trip. San Antonio's on a 2-game winning streak. Carolina again has been, we'll say, on off again with, like I said, wins right now.
And like Rez said last night when we talked to him, he says it's not the same team that lost 5 straight games. They're not.
No, it's not at all. And matter of fact, when you look at the score sheets, and it's wild, like how opposite Carolina and San Antonio are. Matter of fact, like I said, San Antonio lost 5 games in a row. Carolina won their first 5 in a row. San Antonio won a game against one of the Florida teams, Orlando, and won by 2 points. Carolina lost by 2 points to the other Florida team in Jacksonville, or against Jacksonville. And San Antonio got their first win by beating Albany with a final score of 59-56. The same as the game last night. Carolina beat Albany 59-56. Again, it's some weird,
Are
bizarro
you-
version.
I was like, are you trying to say that San Antonio is the Wario to our Mario?
Basically, yes. But again, like I said, all that aside, Carolina has to come out guns blazing, and
Yeah, because it would be, and I know that they wouldn't, but it would be a very naive point to think that you could come out and have this like real false security, and come out and not have to play as strong, things like that. So just don't let off the gas when it comes to that game.
yeah, I mean, again, it's easy to kind of get suckered into that kind of trap game because San Antonio has played so poorly early on in the season. But again, like I said, they're switching things up here. Like I said, they've got Robert Kent starting to quarterback a little bit more for them, and he's trying to help out here and pull this team together. And it looks like it's starting to work. They've got a spark, and they've caught flame here a little bit, 2 games in a row, and it's got to be Carolina's job to snuff that out. So, I think they can. I really think, again, Carolina coming off of a good win here at home. I feel like getting on the road and going despite the travel. Carolina's got a really good opportunity to just put the nose to the grindstone and win this game. So I think that's in Carolina's favor, to be honest.
And I think that they know that. They definitely know that they've got to just keep pushing. So,
again, what I mentioned earlier too was like I said, not only is Carolina going on the road to the Gunslingers, but elsewhere around the league. Like I said, I'm thinking that, like I said, if Carolina wins, that's what I've been told. But again, like I said, math may be a little shaky. If Carolina wins against the Gunslingers, and if the Predators, they're at home playing Jacksonville, so if they win that game and Carolina wins in San Antonio, then Carolina should clinch a playoff spot right now. I think the Empire, they're hosting the Lions, so I think that's the way it goes this week. So again, it's getting down to the interesting part of the season, and I kind of enjoy that. Like I said, when things are starting to come together a little bit, it's not so much of a feeling out process. I think now this is kind of the shape of the teams are kind of who they are. Barring big changes, injuries. Again, Iron Man is a little, and I think that's something that was way blown out of proportion at the start of the off season when the Iron Man rule was first announced.
Everybody lost their minds. I had no clue what it meant, but everyone lost their minds.
Again, the sky was falling because everyone was gonna 17 players a week were gonna be injured. It was the teams wouldn't players wouldn't things wouldn't be as productive.
Honestly, I didn't really understand it until you explained it to me half an hour ago.
Like I said, it was people were worried. I think they really were worried. That's the right word. But it just
it's just because you always fear the unknown. You didn't know how it was going to look.
Right.
And not to say that I don't want to go back on that again. I don't want to revisit that again. Yeah. But that's just a whole other can of worms when we start talking about that over.
Yeah, and again, like I said, I think it didn't have as much impact. But again, I think teams are shaping up to be who they are. And again, like I said, if Carolina gets into the playoffs this early on, I think it just, like I said, I know coach players don't care about that stuff right now, but I think it helps give them a little bit of traction and a little bit more security down the road. Because again, we've mentioned before that Carolina has a tough road schedule.
That's definitely a difference, though. I think that excuse me, players and coaches, they look at it honestly from game to game.
Oh yeah.
And the fans are typically the ones that are like, let's get to the championship, let's get to the playoffs, things like that. And don't get me wrong, the players and coaches obviously want to make it to those things, but they have to focus on the next step in front of them.
Yeah, and again, I think so far we've got 2 games left against Jacksonville, 2 against Columbus.
Yeah, so we have the away game this week.
Yeah, and
then we come back to the Coliseum.
It's that little stretch, home away, Jacksonville, Columbus, Jacksonville, Columbus, Jacksonville, basically. Yeah, I said that right once in there somewhere. But again, that's a tough schedule to have to play these 2 teams that late in the season down the stretch. And like I said, again, if they can have that security of knowing they have a playoff spot, I think it's good. I think it's a whole lot better. position. Like I said, we talked about it before several times, but again, every Carolina Cobras team in the NAL has lost 5 games this season. But we've not seen that yet. So like I said, there's no need to panic, I don't think.
Speaking of the game schedule though.
Yes.
Next home game then is going to be July the 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday. It's at home. And that one is versus the Lions, just so you know.
Yeah.
Because we were trying to talk about that. Yeah. So that's going to be military and first responders night. So at the Coliseum, 7 o'clock, Saturday, July 2nd. Make sure you come out and support your Cobras because the Lions are a tough team and they're going to need all of the extra voices and people in the stands that they can get. That extra energy, they just feed off of it. For sure. Every
little bit counts. Like I said, we're coming down to what will end up being the last 4 weeks of the season rather. Like I said, the next time the Cobras are at home. So again, yeah, they need that type of energy, and then also
and that's not saying anything about the fans that we already have there. Like I was just thinking, I was like, man, it sounds like it's really quiet there. No, it's not really quiet there, but the Coliseum is huge, and I would love to just fill it up for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to do our part here to help fill them up, right?
Exactly. So right now is the part of the show where we do our weekly ticket giveaway. And so if you are in the chat right now, go ahead and comment. We're going to give away some tickets. Or you can also email us at JB2MediaPro. Sorry, I don't know why I blanked out there. JB2MediaPro.
That's the email.
At gmail.com. So we can get some tickets and get some more booties and MC.
Absolutely. So like I said,
I love new people.
Like I said, and what better way to get there than free?
I love free.
It's always the best. So, all right.
Where were you? At Free Ferdy. Sorry. This is who I am.
All right. Again, and one more time, I want to say Happy Father's Day to everybody in Cobras Nation. Like I said, that's a monumental task, and again, also Happy Father's Day to our dad. Like I said, we'll be going to see him here shortly after the show ends. Like I said,
I also say 2 great dads, but then that sounds different. So we also have a amazing stepfather, Lewis. Yep. Love him to death. So Alfredo and Lewis, Happy Father's Day.
To all the fathers in Cobra Nation and our family, like I said, everyone around. Like I said, again, being a father is not an easy task, and it's not for everybody.
Not to us, at least, for sure. And happy belated birthday to my favorite little brother right here.
Yep. Yep. Like I said, my birthday was the 15th, and also found out that's DJ Meyer's birthday. So we share a birthday, and like I said, so that was fun, and we brought that up last night. There's a lot of. Last night was Kendra Eames' birthday too. So
was it last night or the day before?
Last night or the day before, one of the two. But again, we got to it was always the birthday celebrations going around.
My brain just melts together.
So I love it. Like I said, it's always fun to have a little birthday shout outs for everybody. Gina, any final thoughts going into the weekend?
I just think the biggest thing this week is going to be to stay focused, to get the rest and recuperation that they need. Make sure anybody the injuries and scratches are all taken care of, and drink lots of water, stay hydrated. It's hot out there, folks.
That it is. So the travel's rough for the team, but again, you can tune into that. It's on the National Arena League YouTube channel this week. Like I said, because it's every away game. It's down there on the ticker, rolling by you. Like I said, also with some other vital information. You got your standings, and of course the subscription. Like I said, make sure you subscribe to the Carolina Cobras YouTube channel. And like I said, it'll be on the National Arena League YouTube channel, same as all Carolina Cobras away games. There it is. There, that's gonna be Saturday.
And then you can always follow us, with Cobra Nation at the Cobra Nation fan page, and that's at NAL Cobra Nation.
That's on Facebook. So.
Yep.
Like I said,
we try to keep you guys up to date on things.
And I think that's gonna wrap it up for here today again. So. Thankful for another successful Sunday Snake Pit, and we'll be back next week. Let us know who you want to see in the comments. Like I said, do the Sunday sit down, and we'll see what all comes about for everybody. So thanks for tuning in, everyone.
Bye, guys.